Hello, I'm Will Gerard, and welcome to your 3:30 UI7 news update. In a shocking turn of events, Empire star Jussie Smollett is facing a felony charge for making a false police report. On January 29th, Smollett made headlines when he claimed that two men assaulted him when he was walking home. He originally said that the men used racist and anti-gay slurs while putting a rope around his neck. However, Chicago police were unable to find any video evidence that confirmed the assault and believe he may have even scratched and bruised himself. Smollett was turned himself in and is currently in police custody. He could face a prison sentence of 1 to 3 years. In a press conference this morning, Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson was strong in his feelings about Smollett possibly making these false allegations and the consequences.
Anytime a hate crime is reported in the city of Chicago, it gets the same attention. This didn't get any special attention. You all gave this more attention specifically than we do. We give every hate crime in this city the same amount of vigor because there's no place for hatred in this city. And as I said in the very beginning, you know, I've lived in the city of Chicago my entire life. We just don't have any room for hatred in this city. And for somebody to use it for personal gain, it's shameful, because what that does is take away the resources that we could be putting into other crimes.
Johnson also said that Smollett may have staged the attack to promote his career because of his dissatisfaction with his salary. Smollett reportedly paid two men $3,500 to stage the attack. In the state capitol on Tuesday, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a bill approving a minimum wage hike. The minimum wage is currently $8.25 per hour, but because of the bill, the minimum wage will gradually increase on an annual basis until it's $15 an hour in 2025. Governor Pritzker says the benefits of this move are expansive.
For 9 long years, there were many forces that were arrayed against giving a raise to the people who work so hard to provide home care for seniors, child care for toddlers, who wash dishes at the diner, and who farm our fields. Today is a victory for the cause of economic justice.
Yesterday, the newly elected governor also delivered his first state budget address. He called for a $25 million increase in money allotted to public schools, in addition to a $1 million increase in the Early Childhood Block Grant and a combined $69 million in additional funding for public universities and community colleges. He also addressed the state's $3.2 billion deficit, which could decrease if he follows through on his campaign promise of a progressive income tax and legalized marijuana. Thankfully, it appears that there's warm weather awaiting this weekend, so let's take a look at your 3-day forecast. Tonight, the temperature may drop down 25 degrees, but you can expect more warm weather tomorrow with a high of 43 and a low of 34 degrees. Then on Saturday, there's a high of 52 and a low of 34. However, you may want to pack an umbrella and a rain jacket, given that there's a 90% chance of rain on Saturday. Although it's been rather warm in central Illinois, the same cannot be said across much of the nation. CNN's Omar Jimenez reports.
Spring isn't far off, but winter is far from over.
If you can get out there and make the best of it, it's not so bad. And before you know it, it's spring.
This week, winter weather is slamming much of the country with a mixture of snow, sleet, and freezing rain. The East Coast is taking the brunt of it. More than 5,000 flights across the U.S. were either delayed or canceled, according to data from FlightAware. In Minneapolis, bad conditions forced all of the airport's runways to close at one point. And this month, more snow has fallen in the Twin Cities than ever before, according to the National Weather Service.
I grew up in Minnesota, though, so I'm kind of used to it, but this is a little rough.
And the entire state of Minnesota, fresh off the heels of temperatures below negative 50 degrees with wind chill, was forced to close school Wednesday.
Sub-zero one week, and then this week, I mean, just look at it. It's been quite miserable.
And that quite miserable weather is coming in the form of not just one, but 2 separate storms, one on each coast. Seattle, for example, is having its snowiest February in 70 years as part of a system that's bringing winter watches, warnings, and advisories from the Mexican to Canadian border, and even freeze warnings as far south as Phoenix.
And I'm Will Gerard. Thanks for watching this news update. Be sure to tune in at 5 for our full 30-minute newscast.